Tutorial will show you how to set up credentials in the PetTutor mini feeder in order for you to connect to Wi-Fi and the internet. We're going to use this third-party app called BLE Scanner. That's a free app that's available in the app stores, BLE Scanner. It's used for discovering and working with Bluetooth devices, which the PetTutor mini feeder can work on Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Here we're working on Bluetooth only, or Bluetooth low energy as it's called. You'll see the PetTutor feeder, or PT feeder, is listed here toward the top. It may be further down the list, but we have several Bluetooth devices. You can see that green button that says connect. We're going to hit that to connect to the feeder, and once we're connected, now we can see what's called services that are available on Bluetooth to the feeder. There are two big long numbers there. The first one ends in FB and the second one is F0. For this, we're going to use the one that ends in F0. So I'm going to hit that and it'll open up. And now I've got two buttons over here, R and W for read or write. We're just going to be writing this time to the feeder. So if I hit that W, a little window pops up. It says text. Now it'll allow me to write text, or what's called a byte array. We want to do everything here in text mode. And so I'm going to put my cursor in that field, and I'm going to enter a lowercase s as in single feed. So S, just one letter, and I'm going to hit that button. And the feeder, if you have the buzzer turned on, it'll beep. If not, it'll just rotate. But either way, whenever you enter an S, it'll do a single feed. Now what we're going to do is clear any credentials that we may have put in there before. If we've attempted this, and this is our second time through, we're going to clear the credentials. In fact, it's probably a good thing to do if you're setting it up the first time. So I'm going to put a capital X as in X-ray. So that's capital X and hit OK. And now I have cleared all of the pre-existing credentials that were in the feeder. So now what I can do is once I've cleared it, it will allow me to go over and look at my Wi-Fi and see if my PetTutor feeder is now showing itself for setup mode. To do that, I go to the gear, connections. This is all on an Android, so it may look a little different on the iPhone. So now I've opened up my connections. Right at the top is Wi-Fi. I'm going to open that. Now it's going out. The phone is going out and scanning. And look, it found PetTutor setup 192.168.4.1. Remember that number, 192.168.4.1. We're going to need that in just a little bit. So I'm going to now, instead of connecting to my local router, I'm going to connect to this router. And so now I call it a router. It's actually the feeder. So it's checking the quality of the internet. Now there won't be internet available for this because we're talking directly to the feeder from the phone. So I'm going to connect just this once. And so now I'm going to be connected to the feeder. So the next thing I need to do is give a command to bring up the setup screen, and I can do that by going to my browser and put in that number I had mentioned, 192.168.4.1. That's 192 period or dot 168.4.1. Hit go, and the feeder will then be giving me a setup screen that I can go through, and I can put in, just some information. This is myself. I'm just going to call my Wi-Fi myself. Now notice what happened at the end there. If you can see that, there's actually a little space at the end. My cursor spaced over. That will be a problem. So some browsers will automatically add that. I didn't add that myself, so I'm going to have to back up, and now I've removed that trailing space. If my password is a mix of upper and lower case, I want to make sure that I enter that as my password should be entered. If your password has changed, make sure you're trying to enter your most current password. That can be one of the problems. So I've entered my password. Now I'm going to go down and enter the account that was set up for me when I purchased my PetTutor. And the username is always the email address you used when you purchased your PetTutor, but it's got to be in lowercase. and I'm just going to call this Sam at gmail.com. And that will be my username. If my name was Sam and I ordered that, and that's my email address, I put that in. Again, watch for upper cases that your browser may actually enter for you. You don't want to do that. There's no space at the end. I'm going to make up a password. Well, actually, for this, for the MQTT, I have to use a specific password. I've got to use the one that says PetTutor. Now notice I got a space at the end again, so I've got to eliminate that space. That's the password you will enter. Now here I can make up a password, so I could just say 123 for my guest password. A device name is, I can call my device Rover, and then location in the world, you can leave that blank, but everything else has to be filled in. Then I'm going to hit submit. And there's going to be a little pop-up. Carefully look over this. Make sure that your Wi-Fi SSID or identification is correct and the password is right. It's if you have upper and lower case. And I should mention at this point, make sure that your Wi-Fi is capable of 2.4 gig. Wi-Fi's these days either come in 2.4 or 5 or dual mode 5 and 2.4. So our feeder will only operate for 2.4 routers, so make sure that you're connecting to the correct router in your case. Next in line here is the MQTT user. That's your email address, and the password is just PetTutor, and I can make up a guest pass. That all looks good, so I'm going to click OK. So now what will happen is the feeder will take that information and reset itself and then go out and try to find your router and your account. And if it finds both of those, you should get a double beep at this point. And just give it about a minute or so. You should hear a double beep. At that point, you should be able to trigger it from your web control page, which we sent to you, to do a feed just to check it out. You're then connected to the cloud and you're ready to go. If that didn't work, then you've got to go back to this BLE Scanner, go to the W and write the X again, because you're going to clear the credentials a second time in case there was an error the first time. Usually, if there's a problem connecting, most likely it's something was wrong with the credentials the first time. So that's how you can clear that out and start over. If you have any questions, as always, contact us at support@PetTutor.Biz, support@PetTutor.Biz. Thank you.